I immediately know that I am pregnant when I start craving ginger. It's a funny thing. I like to eat that preserved whole strips of ginger that they have sometimes in Chinatown, and it's so soothing for the intestines. It just kind of perks you up and wakes you up also because it's got that little bite to it. It has a little bit of that spiciness. Ginger is very much used throughout the whole world and has been used since the dawn of time. It is most well known, of course, for its nausea and digestive components and circulation and stimulants and getting things going. And it is a plant that is native to Southeast Asia. That's why it's in a lot of the cooking in China and India, and now it grows in the US, and it grows in West Indies now and in lots of different tropical warm regions. It is a shade-loving plant and loves fertile, moist soil. That's why it works so well in South America. The root is what is used. It is used fresh or used dry. It is a very pungent plant with a very spicy taste to it. The history of it goes just way back. In China in the 4th century BC, the medical texts then at the time reported use for nausea, for vomiting, for digestion problems, for diarrhea, for stomach aches, for cholera, for toothaches, for bleeding, for rheumatism, for colic, and parasites. Clear back in 4th century BC. Later, it was talked about and used with great results for respiratory issues, for coughs, colds, as a stimulant for appetite, for those that didn't have an appetite, for calming down the stomach, and definitely it's a catalyst herb for putting in combinations to help stimulate the body so that the other herbs circulate through the body more efficiently. The fresh ginger is very warming. It can promote sweating and definitely a stimulation type sensation. It helps with circulation. You notice it with your heart, and it helps your spleen, and it can help support your lungs and your coughs. And what it does is it helps to warm things up, but also get things moving, stagnant toxins that live in those parts of the body. The dried ginger is what I mostly use. I cook with the fresh ginger, but I use a lot of dried ginger. We use it in capsules, and we use it in tea, and we use it in lots of different ways because it's very effective. It's been used throughout the years for settling down symptoms associated with pelvic discomfort and rheumatism symptoms, and for vomiting and for kind of listlessness. It's been used to alleviate the chills and to alleviate a weak pulse for very sick people. It's used in Ayurvedic medicine, which is well known as being a very wonderful modality. They definitely cherish this plant. They consider it a universal medicine for just about everything. You use it for inflamed joints of all kinds, and definitely as a spice. 4,000 years ago, the Greeks would wrap ginger in specialty made breads for digestion, and the Romans used it for eye problems, for cataracts, and for parasites. It was so valued, it had a very high tax on it, placed on it in Rome. And in England and the Anglo-Saxons in the 11th century, they used it for bringing on perspiration and for warming the stomach, adding circulation to the extremities, cold hands and feet. It's great for that, for helping to symptoms associated with colds and flu, and even bronchitis type symptoms. We talked about digestion, but also helping to support the liver. The liver loves ginger and responds in kind when you ingest it, because it just really gets a lot of nourishment from ginger. You can just tell if you have anything with liver going on. If you add ginger to it, it settles down. Topically, it can be used as muscle strain and even painful joints. You can make decoction out of it, but you could make a tea out of it and just take a cloth and put in it, dip in it, and wrap it on a wounded part of the body, or a part where circulation needs to go to that area. In the Americas, it started to become famous in about the 1600s for a soothing drink for the stomach. In the 1980s, ginger was studied for and found out that it worked for nausea. And I want to say, no kidding, for thousands of years it's been used for nausea, and just now we're being able to accept it as helping with nausea. And to become a drug for nausea, it needs to have millions of dollars in studies. Well, it's time to keep it out of the drug world. It's a plant, and it is great for nausea, and we don't really need studies on some of these to know that what it's good for. I want to say, no kidding. I think sometimes when we have to spend all this money studying a plant that we know what it does, it's a little bit of a waste of money, for sure. It's spoken about in the German Commission E for indigestion and even for motion sickness. It has lots of nutrients in it. It's got gingerols in it, which is what makes it ginger, and so gingery, and it's got vitamin A's and all the B's in it, including B6 and 12. It's got vitamin C in it, biotin. It has calcium and iron and magnesium. It's got potassium. It's got zinc. It's got lots and lots of things in it. It's full of dietary fiber. It has proteins. It has gingerols. It's got something called shoggols or zingerones and zingabanes. I don't know what those are, but they are components in ginger that make ginger what they are. It is so wonderful for helping in every way the digestive tract, including with bile flow from the liver, and also gastric secretions. It can help with the breakdown of proteins in the body. So if you eat a lot of protein, in the old days they would just eat ginger or take ginger tea and break down a lot of the meat in the body that we ingest. That's sometimes hard for us to digest. It is one of those herbs that absorbs and tends to neutralize digestive toxins in the body, can help eliminate pollution from the body, and can help settle down shellfish poisoning. Good to know for those of you allergic to shellfish. It can help the stomach acid when there's too much of it. It helps settle down pelvic ulcers, and it's a natural alkalizer which can tone and strengthen tissues. One of our favorite ways to use it is for morning sickness, and people around us having babies, and we use it for morning sickness a lot. But you have to use it, the very best way we have seen it for morning sickness is using it in capsules. Much better than using it fresh as a tea or any way like that. We found that in capsules, that this is a little trick. You put the capsules beside your bed at night, and before you even get up and sit up from the bed, you lean over and take those capsules with a little drink of water and lay back down for 15 minutes. This is our trick for pregnant women. And after those capsules get warm in your tummy and break open, then you get up for the day. And that seems to help settle morning sickness, even severe morning sickness, down for most people. Also, that's kind of the same thing you do with motion sickness and seasickness before you ever get on the boat. You take the ginger for a couple of days, and even just taking a little bit right before you get on the boat. But before you ever get nauseated, that's when you want to take the ginger capsules. It works amazingly well. It's been used for post-op for nausea, and even recommended for nausea associated with chemotherapy in the body. Can settle down the cramping of the stomach, can settle down the vomiting, and even just simple stomach aches. We use it every day. It is a definite cleansing herb because it gets things going and gets things moving and warms up the body, and the extremities get going and the capillaries wake up, and it can help the body settle down symptoms associated with stroke, symptoms associated with cholesterol out of control, and any type of things in the heart and clearing out passageways there. It's been used for sweating out toxins in the body and actually helping with filtration in the kidney and for urine flow. It can help the body settle down menstrual cramping and settle down the heavy flow of menstruation. It can also have, it has that anti-inflammatory effect to it. So some people use it for relief of even symptoms associated with migraines and any headaches or problems associated with that. It's known to protect the brain nerve cells. And some of the studies and research shows that it's used in Alzheimer's for helping them to relearn things. And it can be used for some of those brain functions where you may not be sure if you can give some of the other herbs like ginkgo and some of those things. This is a great simple herb that usually has hardly any contraindications with medicine. It's been used for gingivitis, for toothaches, settling down that and getting that back under control. It's an herb for respiratory symptoms, congestion, helps the body to break up phlegm. You can chew it for sore throats or cough. You can gargle with it, and it can help break up lots of phlegm, and for sinus issues that you might have. Also, it is one that's taken for symptoms associated with colds and flu, and for food poisoning, and for fevers and breaking fevers and chill. It is used as a natural antiseptic for sure, and has anti-cancer properties in the herb. It's known as a catalyst herb, an herb that marries with any other herb and can make those herbs work even better. It's very safe. It's considered completely safe and without any contraindications at all. Even beneficial during pregnancy. High mineral content for mama and baby. So you're taking lots of ginger for your morning sickness. Awesome. Great food for you and your baby. Excellent for pregnant and new moms for sure. It can interact with blood thinners and anticoagulants. So the debate is kind of out on that, so check with your doctor if you happen to be on those medications. The way that you use it is every way you can use it. You can use it fresh and dried and powdered, and you can use it in infusions and in tinctures and decoctions. You can use it in baths and in massage oil, and you can use it in essential oil. Every different way, and there's different effects: dried, fresh, powdered, all kinds of different effects that you can get from using ginger, helping to speed things up, warm things up, and helping to get the body healthy and well again.